Have you ever looked at a diamond in the rough and wondered if it was destined to become the crown jewel of a championship ring? Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are shifting gears from the anxieties of the Major League roster to the absolute thrill of the unknown. We are talking about hope. We are talking about the future. While the World Baseball Classic has been capturing headlines globally, a quieter, yet perhaps more significant storm is brewing down in Florida. The rosters for the 2026 Spring Breakout have been dropped, and for those of us who bleed Blue Jays blue, this is our crystal ball. This isn't just an exhibition game, it is a glimpse into the soul of our farm system. On March 21st, in Clearwater, the Toronto Blue Jays' future stars will clash with the Philadelphia Phillies' top prospects. It's a short drive from our base in Dunedin, but for these kids, it's the longest journey of their lives, the road to the show. The organization has selected 19 pitchers, 3 catchers, 10 infielders, and 8 outfielders to represent the crest. That is a small army of talent. But let's be real, not all of them will make it. The attrition rate in baseball is brutal. However, within this group, there are 5 names that demand your attention. These are the players who could be the difference between a rebuild and a dynasty in 2028. Let's start with the heavy hitter, the name that has been whispered in scouting circles with a mix of reverence and curiosity, JoJo Parker. If you haven't heard of him yet, write it down. Parker was our first-round pick last summer, the second best prospect in the entire system, and yet he remains a mystery to the average fan. Why? Because the Mississippi product hasn't played a single inning in an affiliated league since the draft. He hasn't even stepped onto the field for a Grapefruit League game this spring. The anticipation is building like a pressure cooker. Why is Parker so special? It's the hit tool. Scouts rave about his above-average power and, more importantly, his elite control of the strike zone. In an era where strikeouts are skyrocketing, a shortstop who understands the geometry of the plate is worth his weight in gold. Seeing him in the Spring Breakout will be our first tangible proof of concept. Is the hype real? Can he handle professional velocity? This isn't just about watching a rookie, it's about witnessing the potential heir apparent to our infield legacy. The fan base is split between those who want to see him rush to the majors and those who want to wrap him in bubble wrap. But on March 21st, the bubble wrap comes off. To understand the significance of our next prospect, we have to go back to the international signing period of 2025. The baseball world was obsessed with Roki Sasaki. He was the white whale, the generational talent that everyone wanted. When he chose the Dodgers, a lot of fans felt a pang of disappointment. But smart organizations pivot. They don't sulk, they reinvest. The Blue Jays took that bonus pool money and poured it into a different kind of lottery ticket, Juan Sanchez. And folks, it looks like we might have hit the jackpot. Sanchez is a fascinating case study in raw, unadulterated talent. Hailing from the Dominican Republic, this kid tore up the Dominican Summer League last year. We are talking about a 17-year-old posting a slash line of .341 / .439 / .565. An OPS of 1.004 is video game stuff. He hit 16 doubles, 8 home runs, and drove in 40 RBIs. Those aren't just good numbers, they are dominant. Now 18, Sanchez is expected to make the jump to the States, likely joining JoJo Parker in the Florida Complex League. Historically, the transition from the DSL to the U.S. Complex Leagues is the biggest hurdle for international prospects. The culture shock, the better pitching, the daily grind, it swallows players whole. Remember some of the international signings from the early 2010s who fizzled out before reaching A-ball? That is the risk here. But Sanchez feels different. His swing is described as powerful and popular among scouts, a term that usually implies a natural, effortless mechanic that generates exit velocity without selling out for power. Seeing Sanchez against the Phillies' top arms will be a massive test. He might not get 3 or 4 at-bats, but even one plate appearance against a high A or AA caliber pitcher will tell us volumes about his bat speed and maturity. If he looks comfortable, if he doesn't chase breaking balls in the dirt, the hype train is going to leave the station at full speed. The optimists in the fanbase are already dreaming of a Parker Sanchez middle infield in 2029. The realists are waiting to see if he can hit a curveball. This game is the first data point in that argument. Now, let's talk about a gamble that looks like it's paying off. The draft is often about leverage and money as much as it is about talent. In 2025, the Blue Jays took a massive swing in the 12th round on Blaine Bullard. This was a kid committed to Texas A&M, a powerhouse program. Usually 12th rounders are organizational filler, but the Jays threw over $1.6 million at him to bypass college. That is a serious financial commitment. It tells you everything you need to know about how the front office views his ceiling. He is now ranked as the organization's 15th best prospect without playing a single affiliated game. Bullard is a switch hitter with power from both sides of the plate. Do you know how rare that is? Think about the strategic advantage of having a switch-hitting outfielder who can punish mistakes regardless of the pitcher's handedness. It brings back memories of guys like Chipper Jones, or closer to home, the utility of a prime Melky Cabrera, but with more raw pop. The question mark is his defensive home. Will he stick in center, or will his frame push him to a corner? The spring breakout will give us our first look at his route running and arm strength. On the mound, we have to discuss Gage Stanifer. This right-hander was a revelation last season. He pitched across 3 levels, throwing 110 innings with a 2.86 ERA. He struck out 161 batters, holding opponents to a .183 average. Those are ace potential numbers. However, 2026 has started with a bit of a wobble. In his first 1.2 innings of spring training, he's been hit around 3 earned runs, walks, a hit batter. This is where we need to apply the expansion protocol of analysis. Is this early spring rust, or is it a mechanical flaw being exposed by better hitters? Pitchers often tinker with grips or arm slots in early March. If Stanifer struggles in the spring breakout, the narrative shifts from future ace to needs refinement. The impact on the future rotation is huge. We need homegrown arms to offset the cost of veteran free agents. If Stanifer is the real deal, he saves the franchise $20 to $30 million a year in future payroll. If he regresses, the pressure on the draft increases. Fans are watching his velocity and command closely. A bounce-back performance here would calm a lot of nerves. Finally, we have the lefty, Johnny King. If you like strikeouts, you are going to love this kid. Drafted in 2024, King came out of the gates hot, posting a 2.48 ERA in over 60 innings between the FCL and Single A. His strikeout rate is absurd, 15.3 K/9. He fanned 105 batters in just 18 appearances. That is electric stuff. It reminds me of a young Robbie Ray. Absolute filth that hitters just can't touch. But like a young Ray, there is a catch: the walks. King walked 5.4 batters per 9 innings. In the big leagues, that gets you killed. You cannot defend walks. As he enters his age 19 season, the spring breakout is a litmus test for his control. Can he harness that electric stuff within the zone? If he can cut those walks down to 3.0 or 3.5 per 9, he becomes a top-of-the-rotation monster. If the walks persist, he risks becoming a high-leverage reliever, still valuable, but not the ace we dream of. So, Blue Jays fans, mark your calendars for March 21st. This isn't just an exhibition, it's a preview of the next decade. We have the mystery of Parker, the raw power of Sanchez, the switch-hitting potential of Bullard, the redemption arc of Stanifer, and the electric arm of King. These 5 names represent the diverse paths to the majors: the high draft pick, the international signing, the overslot gamble, the breakout performer, and the raw project. I want to know who you are most excited to see. Are you buying the JoJo Parker hype? Do you think Sanchez is the next Vlad Jr.? Or are you worried about Stanifer's slow start? Let me know in the comments below. This is where the die-hard fans separate themselves from the casuals. We are scouting the future together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our breakdown after the game. The future is bright, folks. Let's watch it shine.